So Kamil, what was it like growing up in Elizabeth, New Jersey?
Growing up in Elizabeth, New Jersey,
So Kamil, what was it like growing up in Elizabeth, New Jersey?
growing up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, I mean, some can say it was hard. I mean, pretty much wasn't hard for me. You know, I was mostly on the court. My mom put me in a whole bunch of like camps and made sure I was out the streets. But for other people, it was hard. I mean, I lived in a tough environment, a tough area, but because I was surrounded by basketball and my mom always kept me away from it, it was kind of easy growing up. But I mean, it was definitely a struggle, you know, having to watch your back every day and make sure you're not in the wrong, you're not in the wrong area. So, I mean, my mom made it as smooth as it can be. So I guess to say it was okay.
So obviously you mentioned like you got into playing basketball and stuff. So
Yeah.
how did you ultimately decide to get into playing basketball?
I guess I could say from watching my older brother, I always loved basketball. You know, I was shooting socks inside garbage cans and boxes or whatever. But I guess it came from watching my brother play. That was like my role model, Kevin Brown. So yeah, I told my mom I wanted to play, and the first chance she got to put me inside of a league, she put me in there. So yeah.
Sounds good. So kind of take everybody in depth on kind of like from a competition perspective of like how New Jersey basketball is, because we always hear that New Jersey is like one of the founding fathers when it comes to basketball.
Yeah. New Jersey is definitely a tough place to hoop. It's a lot of dogs out there. Like everybody got a chip on their shoulder. Everybody going for one mission, that's to get out of New Jersey and make a way. So I say yeah, it's tough. And then there's people with big names, and if you don't have a big name, you definitely fighting for a bigger name. So when all the eyes is on the big name, you got to show up and show out. So if you're not one of them big name guys, it's even harder because they're not really looking at you unless you perform on a high level when you're playing against the big names. You know what I'm saying?
So you mentioned playing up against big name guys and like going up against big name guys, and like if you're not a big name, it's kind of virtually hard to making it out of New Jersey. Would you kind of say you were kind of like perceived as like an underdog?
Yeah, I definitely was an underdog. I was definitely a late bloomer too. So, but whenever the competition came, I always showed up. It was never like no backing down. I always had great numbers against great competition. So, yeah, I definitely was an underdog though.
Okay. So obviously you decided to, once you graduated high school, you went to play college basketball. You obviously went to a JUCO program called ECC College in your home state, New Jersey. What was that experience like?
The experience was good. I mean, I already had some type of, like, I had a little up on it because that was the same school my older brother went to. So I was there like during high school. I was coming there working out sometimes and playing against them. So, I was already mentally ready, kind of mentally ready for what was going to happen. I knew I just always had to come in there and give my all. So I'll say like playing at ECC is definitely tough. The coach was tough because he don't really care about offense, So it's mostly like if you want to earn a spot, you got to show me. You got to guard the best player, or you got to come in, take charges. It wasn't about offense for real. So and my mindset was offense when I came in, and then like when I got to ECC, it was straight defense. Like the only way I was going to step on that court is if I guarded. He don't care if I scored 10 in a row. If I get scored on 2 times, I'm coming right out that game. So I say, it was just playing at ECC. If you ain't have heart or if you ain't have no dog in you, you probably wouldn't have made it out of there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what were like some of the challenges and things that you had to kind of like overcome while playing JUCO basketball?
Challenges is definitely like, I say, school, of course, but mainly I say it's like not being a man no more. You know what I'm saying? So, like I came there thinking I was going to play or whatever. Then I got hit with reality. It was definitely competition at ECC. We was ranked number 3 in the nation both years in a row. We probably won. I think we won 6 region championships in a row. So, I say, Oh, I never had a tough coach, like a real tough coach. Most of my coaches, like in high school, was like kind of like a pushover or whatever. Mm-hmm. So when I got to Coach Lowry, you know, he wasn't going for nothing.
Right.
Yeah, he was basically like, if you want to talk back, we can fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was tough. So I guess it was like more so like shutting up and just like doing what I need to do. That was the most tough part because I did have a bad attitude. So yeah, I'll say that like maturing was the hardest part.
Okay. So in 2017, you transferred from ECC and you wind up transferring to St. Thomas University. Like, what was kind of like the thought process behind that?
Thought process behind that? Well, I actually, when I took that year off, was really, I was going to try to go Division I, but more so, I was trying to get my mind right because I had went through a lot that past year, like mentally and stuff. So I was just trying to, you know, focus and get my mind right. So I wasn't going to go to St. Thomas, actually. I was going to try to get my grade right and go to Howard. Howard was looking at me that summer. But I didn't even go to school because of some other stuff. But when I went to St. Thomas, I was still like in my head out there. I was just ready to get out of Jersey. So I called the first school that called me when I was in JUCO. You know, I called them back. Coach Gale, that's who's at Albany State right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I came here.
Okay.
Actually. But yeah, I came there and it was tough because, you know, it was like I guess you could say a PWI, and I was used to like HBCU vibes or whatever. So it was like I was trying to fit in and I was trying to find a way to like fit into that type of environment. You know, I was walking around with do-rags and tank tops, my tattoos showing, and he just like, man, you can't be doing that out here. Like, it's gonna be hard, like, you know, passing classes or them even in like looking to help you or whatever. So I'm just like trying to figure out how, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, I was just trying to figure out how to blend in with them, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was trying to figure out how to blend in.
So obviously, like you said, you went to Albany State due to the coach at St. Thomas University. That's why you transferred to Albany State. What was it kind of like playing what was it like playing basketball at an HBCU?
Ooh. Now, that one thing I can say, playing basketball at an HBCU was definitely tough. Now, when it came to basketball at St. Thomas versus when it came to basketball at an HBCU, I feel like I had more support at St. Thomas. But when it came to HBCU, it was more so like people trying to bring you down, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was tough, but I mean, it wasn't nothing I wasn't prepared for or whatever. But competition-wise, is better. It's, you know, it's a gritty game, a dog game. Like, nobody gives up in the HBCU. In the conference, the SIAC conference is tough. Everybody fighting for something. So it's like there's really no bad teams in the SIAC for real. So I guess you could say it was a war in the SIAC HBCU.
Okay. So what makes an HBCU environment different from like a Power 5 environment? Like what makes an HBCU environment stands out, pops out?
I say HBCU schools, it's more, I don't know, honestly. I dealt with more trash talking at HBCU though.
Wow.
Yeah, even from my home team.
Why do you think it's that like so much trash talking be displayed at HBCUs? Is it from like a competitive perspective, or like?
I don't even think that. I just think it's a bunch of people who believe they can play your position or can make the team and do what you do until they actually get in front of you, and then it's like when they get the chance to get in front of you and play you, they don't do nothing or whatever.
Wow.
So it's like a bunch of wannabes. Everybody think because we make it look easy in the game, they think they can do it. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So I feel like it's just more so like hating, delusional people, just you know.
So it's like more like solids in the critiques, not the critiques, the haters.
Yeah, definitely.
Using the haters as your motivators. They keep you driving.
Definitely.
Feel the sense. Okay. So I got a 2-part question here. You started your own clothing brand called Prevail. Why did you name the clothing brand Prevail, and what led you to ultimately starting your own clothing brand?
This go back to 20s. Before I transferred to St. Thomas. Before I transferred to Albany State, because I was going through so much mentally or whatever. Honestly, when I got baptized probably like a month before I transferred to Albany State. And like, I don't know, as crazy as it sounds, I got baptized and I came out the water. Right. And then like, that's what came up across my head. Like, just Prevail. Like, that's all I seen was Prevail. And I was like, and when that happened, that's like, that main word stuck with me the whole day. And I had a clothing brand before that. It was called UFB. It was Unfit brand. It was basically like a person that stands out, you know what I'm saying, that's not fit for the environment. That people claim not fit for, society, but really he is, because he just has his own going on. Like, he does what he can not to fit in, well, what they call fit in. Like, let's say people who wear designer, people think that, they're the man or whatever, but it's really a person who can make anything look good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So basically that's what my brand was based on. But yeah, Prevail came up in 2017, and I actually didn't start it until like middle of 2019. And the meaning of that is basically like, overcoming any obstacle. That's what the rose tatted on my neck means. It's grow from concrete. That's my original rose. My original logo. Okay. So yeah, that's where.
Okay. So you mentioned you got baptized, and that kind of came to your mind. I'm just wondering, how strong is your faith, and like, if you wouldn't mind like sharing like some things that God has done for you along this journey.
Oh, my faith. Well, I can be completely honest. It definitely it's still strong. It just wasn't. It's not as strong as it was back then. But I always pray. Always pray. But back then I used to pray probably about 5 to 10 times a day. Honestly, like whenever something came on my mind, I used to pray. But ask that question again one more time.
What's like something that God has done for you like in your life that like kind of like stands out?
Okay, to you? Well, that's the whole meaning of Prevail. But it's Prevail and PR2VL. So please remember to value life. The 2 stands for the 2 times that I almost died or whatever. Oh. Yeah. Wow. So that's the big thing. I had a gun in my head. In 2019. Wow. And I survived a car accident. I flew out the back window without no scratch. You know, everything in my car was damaged and ruined, except for me. Which when I flew out that back window, the stuff in my trunk hit a tree and broke. Like everything broke. But somehow I flew out the window and I just landed on all fours. And the crazy thing is, when I landed on all fours, I landed just like this. Like when I snapped out of it, I landed just like this. Wow. The phone was in the middle of my hand, and the first number on my phone was my mom. You get me? And before I got in that car accident, well, I think it's somewhere over there. Yeah, 1 second. It's somewhere over there. This is my grandma. This is my grandmother.
You want closer? Hang on. Good.
Yeah, so I had, for some reason, this wasn't on me the whole ride. You get me? Mm-hmm. My brother was driving, and it was in my, it was in like the little glove department. And I gassed up. I was probably like, we drove all the way from Jersey to Albany. Wow. Yeah, so I was probably about, I'll say like, I was in Columbus, probably like an hour and 20 away. Mind you, I had just first got my car, so it was my first time really on the road by myself. So I gassed up, and I'm pulling out, and something told me to go live or whatever. So I went live. I'm putting the live on my phone, and I noticed I had my chain on, so I put it on. I put the chain on, this one, and like 3 minutes after I put that chain on, I'm driving and my car hydroplaned, and then I'm skirting, and I hit like 3 trees. It's kind of giving me, it's kind of you can hear it in my voice.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, I can hear it.
I can still like feel it right now.
Yeah, I can hear the emotion. Yeah.
But yeah, I hit like 3 trees. And it was my first time, so I didn't know how to control the car. I braked, I spun like 8 times, hit a tree, spun again, hit another tree. And then that last tree, I remember I'm like, damn, I'm about to die. Like, what I'm gonna tell my mom, what I'm gonna tell my sisters, you get me? And I went the car went it went forward to a tree. And that's when I flew out the back. But when I flew out the back, like, I had my seat back, so, like, everything just happened to play out. Like, I put my grandmother chain on, I went live, but the live didn't fully go through, I guess, before the hydroplane. So I put my seat all the way back, and I never drive like this. Like, I drive straight, but I was just on some cool, like, just going live, just got my car. So I put my seat back. So yeah, I put my seat back, you know. I was about to go live. Either I was about to go live or I was recording a video, something. But yeah, I put my seat back and I'm just driving, listening to music. I'm driving for about 3 minutes. Then I feel my car like jump, so I brake, swerve. And yeah, I told you I hit the trees or whatever. But for some reason, when I put my car seat back, it was the reason why, like, I flew out the window. It worked for me though, because I flew straight out the back window. I got scratched. I mean, I still got scars on my back. It's probably like 3 little scars. But I flew straight out the window and I landed on all 4s. But the crazy thing is, like, the way I flew out the window, I remember how I flew out. Like, I flew just like this.
Yeah.
But when I closed my eyes, like, I swear, like, I'm not even lying to y'all. I put this on my grandma. Like, I felt hands go like this. Like, you ever played the little computer game where you, like, toss the people around? You know what I'm talking about? Well, it's like a game, like, you could grab them and toss them around.
Pocket
Something like that, yeah. So that's how I felt, like, when my eyes was closed, I felt something grab my shirt and then just drop me, like, and that's how, I woke up and I was just, like, on all 4s. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? And the first thing I look at is my mom. And I wasn't even, like, panicking. I just called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I just crashed and flew out the window. She like, why you so calm? She like, you joking? Like, why you so calm? It didn't hit me till like 3 hours in. That's when I broke down. Like, damn, like, that probably was my grandma that grabbed me. Like, you feel me? Because I just put that chain on. Like, So yeah, that was the reason why I put the number 2 in my brand, because I survived death twice. I feel like.
Wow. Yes, that's powerful and inspirational. So obviously 4 months ago you signed with the Harlem Globetrotters. How did that kind of come about?
The Harlem Globetrotters. I was really, I was supposed to sign with them in 2020, I think it was, during COVID, but COVID had hit, so we wasn't able to. And then I had a tryout with them probably like another 7-8 months before I signed again, but I didn't make it. They said, No, it wasn't because of Corona though. It was just because I guess, you know, I ain't played basketball in a minute, so I had like a lot of pride. But you know, Harlem Globetrotters is based on like enjoyment and fun. So I was more so like on a like trash talking competitive perspective. So I didn't really know how to go into it. So yeah, and then they gave me another chance. It was like, but we love your energy. We just need you to fix some things, you know. Came back, I did everything they told me, fixed it, and then we went to, our first tour was in Connecticut area. Man, it was, I ain't gonna lie, that experience is crazy. It's like a whole bunch of kids, you know, don't even know you, but like show you the most love, more like crazy, like more love than you probably ever felt in your life, like, and you just their favorite person. All you gotta do is go down there, shake their hand, they made, you know. But yeah,
so obviously you were out on the road, attending events, playing in events, engaging with young kids, like you said, after the game, taking pictures, signing autographs, etc. What would you say, since you've been with the Harlem Globetrotter, has it been everything you envisioned it to be and more?
It's definitely been, well, I'll say my vision of how I wanted to play basketball wasn't this. So yeah, it's definitely more than what I envisioned. And you know, I always want to be like known as the man or somebody's favorite person or player or whatever. And when I played my first game, it was like everybody like, we love you, Dragon. We love you, Dragon. You're my favorite player. You know, I gave 2 kids my sneakers. They started crying.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just like endless days, made, and it just feels so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to speak to your younger self and tell him anything about the journeys or obstacles or path you would embark on, how would you put it in words?
If I could speak to my younger self, I mean, I wouldn't change nothing at all. Like, I don't regret anything I do. I'm happy where I'm at. But if I could speak to my younger self, I don't know. I don't think not too much. I'll tell him I'm proud of him for something, or I'm gonna be proud of him in the future. But other than changing anything, I don't think I'll change anything, because, you know, this is why I am who I am. You know, I wouldn't change anything at all, because if I did change anything, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at or doing what I'm doing. I'd probably be somewhere overseas or something, you know, hooping and stressed out and depressed, instead of like in the U.S. making kids laugh and having fun, you know?
Makes sense. So who's Kamil Brown without basketball?
Ooh. Kamil Brown without basketball.
Yep.
I don't know. I can't live without basketball at all. I tried it, and it was the worst year of my life.
Whoa.
The worst, literally. I was just doing a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't supposed to do.
Ooh.
So like, I say me without basketball is probably like,
businessman?
no. This is why I'm a businessman.
Wait. Oh yeah.
So I say, I hate to say it, but probably a failure for real.
Oh.
Not saying that basketball is my life, but basketball is the reason why I'm so like connected with all these people, and
makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So who's the toughest basketball player you've ever had to guard on the court before? Because, you know, we all got that person that's probably given us the work before on the court.
The toughest person I had to guard on the court?
Yeah.
I think it's probably in high school. And it was, what's this guy name? Oh, Tyus Battle.
Know who that is?
He was younger than me too.
Yep.
Yeah, but I had to guard a lot of people. Carl Towns, Chris Silva.
Man.
Corey Silva, Angel Delgado, a lot of league people, and I think Tyus Battle was the toughest. Yeah.
Wow. Woo. So what's next for you? Like, what's the end goal? Like, big picture with you, like, doing all of this? Like, what are you hoping to ultimately get out of doing all of this?
Well, my end goal, I want to start some sort of like, something like a boys and girls camp. It's basically going to be based on like kids with mental health or going through anything at home or whatever. So I want to have like, it's going to be a gym, of course, a basketball gym, but it's going to be like workshops where you can learn like how to start your own clothing brand, how to start a sneaker business, or you know, start your own business type stuff. So yeah, and I want to have like, of course, male mentors and women mentors to help the girls. So yeah, my next step is to definitely open up some sort of like boys and girls camp type vibe. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. So last question, Kamil, and we'll just close this episode out here. So if there's any piece of advice you could give to any young kid or anyone out there who may be going through difficult times, maybe unsure about which direction they want to venture into or how they want to go through with things, what would that be you would tell them?
I would say, you know, do what you want to do. Don't let nobody, you know, put your future in their hands. Like, don't let nobody tell you what you're going to do. Because a lot of people used to tell me that, they used to be like, you're so tall, why you're not playing basketball? Or, you're so tall, you better make it to the NBA. And I'm just like, man, like, you know that 1%, like, it's a 1%. Small. Like, I'm not about to, I mean, if I do, thank God, you know, I'm blessed or whatever, but it's like, I'm not about to put my whole life on trying to make it to the NBA, then I don't have no backup plan. Now I'm stuck doing nothing.
There you go.
So I definitely tell kids to like, branch out, do multiple things when you're young. You're young, so you got time to figure stuff out. Hopefully they're like blessed with family who gonna support them and that can support them financially. But even so, that's gonna build character. If you don't, you're gonna have to figure it out. But I definitely say try multiple things. Don't just focus on one thing, and stay prayed up. Make sure you pray, because at the end of the day, whatever your plan is, God gonna make it come into fruition. Yeah, that's just about it. Oh, stay in school.
Yeah.
Stay out the streets.
Yep.
And then if you got friends and like, it's okay to cut off, childhood friends or friends that you think are good, but they're not, because you've been with them so long. If they're doing stuff that not right, then it's okay to like shy away from it and do your own thing. You don't gotta fit in or whatever. Just do your own thing. God going, do his job. But yeah, that's about it.
Most definitely, man. We want to appreciate you coming on here, talking about your story, just sharing it with everyone about all the obstacles and things you went through to get to where you're at today. Very inspiring and touching story.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.